My name is Ed McCormick. I'm the chair of the Wildomar Community Council. I'd like to introduce one of our strong supporters for the cause, Supervisor Bob Buster.
Well, it's characteristic, Wildomar is still forging ahead, even though there's a real blow-up here today, and I'm really impressed with the turnout, and of course all the candidates and all the volunteers who have put so much into bringing this effort to this critical point. It really is a turning point for Wildomar, and one that I hope all the residents, all the voters, everyone involved in Wildomar. My main aim over the last, I guess 5 or 6 years now, has been to keep Wildomar intact so that you could make up your minds when the time was right. And I frankly never thought the time would be right so quickly. But the tremendous growth in this county has really been so dynamic and exceeded all our expectations that the first fiscal analysis that we commissioned with the county and with the local agency formation commission clearly showed that Wildomar could succeed financially as a city. Now, of course, there were some changes in state law, and then there were some reversals, and those reversals now have put in place the extra boost of vehicle license fees that new cities receive for some years, such that Wildomar and other potential areas that want to pursue out the state have a window period now. People are asking too, economic, is this going to send us below the break-even point? And all I can say is that there's not only been one fiscal analysis, there's been a whole, another one with even greater detail by another experienced independent analyst who's watched cityhood efforts in the past. And then that one was, of course, validated and checked over carefully in an unprecedented review by the State Controller's Office that also validated its findings. In fact, the extra time that it took the State Controller to do that analysis actually, just fortuitously, provided extra funds in the way the funds are calculated for new cities to get in because of the timing involved. So that it looks to me that this cityhood effort should not only break even with this economic downturn, and that was a question we also specifically asked of the consultant. Did you figure this out? Did you take into account this kind of a scenario of a building downturn and economic downturn? And his unequivocal answer was yes, we did. And even with that, even without a Walmart, even without, the continuing burst of retail growth along the I-15 freeway, most of Wildomar, the city could succeed. And in fact, in my experience, as a city, you have extra opportunities to gain revenue. Grants, certainly. Also, cities just throughout the whole panoply of basic revenue sources. Take transportation funds, gas tax funds that are distributed just for the upkeep of our roads. Nuts and bolts things we take for granted, which are extremely important when they're missing. And cities characteristically receive more gas tax funds per lane mile than the county does. So that's just another area. And of course, you will have, if you do choose cityhood, 5 very active council members, mayor elected from among them, planning commissioners, other boards and commissions will be formed, civic groups will coalesce around this effort. They will sit at the table of numerous countywide agencies, starting day one, even starting before the city officially is in being, if it's approved by next July 1st. And so you'll have extra clout, not only in and around the county, but at the state and federal levels. And I can add my weight behind that as well. So the sum of the parts is really greater than 2 + 2 = 4 if you do form a city. And just from a practical standpoint, the state recognizes this with its infusion of vehicle license fees. We don't want to let cityhood efforts fail if they are approved by the voters. We want to make them work. The county wants to make them work. And this has been the case long before I was in office. I'm told that, for example, the county went to great extent to make sure that city could be carried along, even funding much of its fire service there for a number of years, above and beyond what's being contemplated here for Wilmar. So, if the question is, can the city make it financially, are we going to have as good or better services than we now enjoy being in the county? The answer is unequivocally yes. And in fact, having an economic downturn in some ways is a kind of a reverse blessing in some ways, because the city can have the time to begin to assess where its priorities are. We went through a recent revision with concurrence of a great number of citizens, property owners, developers, revising and updating the general plan. So your council, your active citizenry will have a chance to really prepare things and to begin to catch up with things that need to be done in the most judicious and thoughtful manner. You won't have to be rushed into so many things and try to catch up with so many things. So from all those standpoints, the timing looks propitious to me. Observing this. This is my first cityhood ever, having served now for almost 15, or well, actually a little over 15 years now. Of course, when I came on board, cities of Temecula and Murrieta were recently formed, and the county was long active, helping them with a variety of issues. And after a couple of years, they got their sea legs and flew out of the nest. And in fact, they're contributing now county-wide efforts with a lot of good ideas, new experiments. And the mix of cities, of new cities around the county, I think is a really helpful thing. Again, it really makes the county much more powerful as well. So I don't want to belabor the issue. But if you don't choose cityhood, let me say the other thing I think is inevitable. Wilmar will get picked off. It'll get split up. If only because you have some of the ripest, undeveloped, tax-producing, large tax-producing, revenue and sales tax areas along the I-15 freeway. They beckon not only to your neighboring cities, obviously, but they beckon far and wide as we have national developers coming in here seeking just those prime locations, which are soon to be upgraded. For example, 09, I think, where the interchange is going to be expanded. Now two-lane road to the Murrieta, western Murrieta city limits will be upgraded to all going forward. So they become even more attractive. Seekers of land in Riverside County good land is scarce as hen's teeth. In fact, another opportunity we're going to have here, because the downturn economy, is to really get the land for the local needs, hopefully at a less expensive price. So I just want to reassure the audience members, because I do hear people asking these key questions about it. And from all I can tell, those are the best answers that I can give at this point. But I also want to come back to the beginning and say this would not have happened without the true grassroots support. And the candidates up here today, I can fairly say, are running grassroots campaigns, something that is truly invigorating to me. We don't see a lot of it in the county. We need to see more, and for once, this is very inspirational. They are campaigning for something, even if they have questions about it, cityhood, even if they may be concerned about it, but they are campaigning also for something and educating people here about something that's far and above their own candidacy, and that is the issue of cityhood. And the issue of cityhood is for the people. States don't make cities. The federal government doesn't make cities. The county doesn't make cities. The people create cities and form cities. And you, the people, have already accomplished so much, and the candidates have already accomplished so much throughout this community, and all the volunteers, that it seems to me now you are fully capable of making what is now a critical threshold decision for your community. And I wish you well. and I look forward to debates here. Thank you.